Mm, this looks good. Let me check audio. Okay, audio is also fine. Yeah, let's continue. Angie Rock. Okay, let's solve some Div2-D. Let's open some random problems. They're also unsolved. Some string-based problem. There's some array-based. There's some XOR. Let's solve this one first. There is a sequence. Two to the power 17 is around 10 to the power 5, right? This is how many elements? Yeah. This is how many elements in a sequence I can have at max. Studying a bit operation. Some value V. Consisting 2 to the power n minus 1 elements. So like half the element. Writes down the bitwise OR. Second iteration, bitwise XOR of adjacent elements. Okay, so you have to keep doing that. So whatever this n is given, this is the number of times you have to apply those operations until you reach 0. So 2 to the power 0 will give you 1. So this is the target. Hacking NASA? Yes, sir. Yeah. They have also given example. 1 or 2 is 3, 3 or 4 is 7. And then you do XOR and you get a single value that is going to be the answer. And there are 4 elements, so n was 2 here. This is why you have to perform 2 operations. So tree is getting reduced by half. So it looks like a full binary tree, right? So here are some elements that are given to us. And these elements are given in 2 to the power something. So we are always going to have a full binary tree. That's a given. So we cannot have 6 elements because 2 to the power 2 is 4. We can have 4 elements. And then we can have 8 elements, right? We cannot have 6 elements. And the problem with 6 element is going to be something like, yeah, because then you cannot combine. Makes sense. So here you have 8 elements converted to 4, which is 2 to the power 2. Then you combine these two. This was OR operation. This is going to be XOR. Okay. So now we have 2 to the power 1 elements. And then in the end, you combine these two, and this is going to be your answer V. Or XOR until you reach root. This is what we have to do. Okay, so they have given us queries. Pyramid scheme. I mean, yep. So we have queries. So we could have something like update this element. So if we are updating this element, what we have to do? We have to update this, and update this. So at max, we will be updating how many nodes? 70 nodes at max. So that is doable. If we use like this sort of a tree logic, then we can do this. That is fine. We don't give a fuck about this. Yeah. So now we have to think of how to create this tree. So maybe we could have something like a 2D array or something. So we can have like 2D array of size n. I would say n+1. And then inside this, we're going to have these variable size vectors. So first one is going to be size of 1, which is 2 to the power 0, then 2 to the power 1, then 2 to the power 2, until we reach 2 to the power n. And we are going to assign value here. Okay. Then what we do? To calculate this, so we have 2 to the power n. Now we want to calculate 2 to the power n-1. But this is going to be bad, no? Okay, let's calculate 2 to the power n-1. So this 0th index is going to have 0th and 1th element. 0 is going to map with 0 and 1. 1 is going to map with 2 and 3. And so on. Okay. How I'm gonna do this? Okay, so this is nothing but this is basically this index, whatever the I is, multiplied by 2, and I multiplied by 2 plus 1. So this is 3. 3 2s is going to give us 6 plus 1 7. Okay. So the question is solved. Let's code this one. I hope that's correct. So if I'm updating, I will first move to whatever the index over here. Then from this index, I will see where do I have to go. So I will go to, if I have 7 here. Okay. Also, if this is odd, then I'm gonna take next element. If it's even, then I'm gonna take the previous element. Okay, so I think, yeah, that makes sense. Is there a easier way? Can we do recursion here? Recursion is going to be much easier, I suppose. How do we keep value in ranges? Okay, so 4 by 2 is going to be fine. This is going to give us 2. And that is absolutely correct. Similarly, 5 is also going to give us 2. So they both are going to map to the same value. Okay. But what about this and this value? Let's always keep even, right? If it's odd, then move a step back. This is something we can do. Or maybe we just don't care. Okay, we don't actually care about this. We just go to whatever is this index upon 2. We will always reach the correct index, and then the correct index is going to fetch the value. Okay. What is the input? First line contains M and N. This keyboard is okay. So we're going to have n and m. Then we're going to have 2 to the power n values, right? Let's do one thing. Let's take okay, so let's create this 2D vector with size of n+1. Do I have to create an empty vector? So I have to define sizes. So maybe I can do this. Okay. Should I? I can assign a dummy value for now, right? I can update like later on. Okay, let's create a vector of some temporary vector of size 2 to the power n. So let's do binary shifting. So shifting 1 by ith time. So right, so if I'm shifting like 0th time, I'm going to get 1, which is going to be the root. So that is fine. And also let's assign a dummy value 0. And we did not name this. Let's call this tree. Okay. Now let's tree.I. Let's make it equals to t. I hope that works. Let's quickly take these values now. Let's take by reference this tree of n+1. Wait, what am I doing? Let's call this v. Okay, so we're going to have like values, and let's see in x. So this is what we're taking input, and v is going to be equals to x. I think that is fine. Or maybe like better, I can literally take input as v. I hope that works. Let's check. Cout v space some error somewhere. Okay, so that is good. The problem is that size is not defined, so I'm not sure. You are using ChatGPT or bot for solution? I'm using my brain for solution. Yeah. Tree of I equals to t. Where is the mistake though? This is of size n+1, so tree of I can take this vector, right? I have an idea. I can create 2D vector. No, I cannot. So how many values I'm going to have? So 2 to the power 17 plus 2 to the power 16 plus so on. So this is a converging series, so I can use like AP or GP to solve this, but I assume this is a good number, right? So we are going to have no problem. But why is this not working? Maybe don't assign a value. Keep it as it is. We have n and m, then we have 4 values here, which is 2 to the power 1 right shift 2 times, right? So what is the problem? Is this the problem? At this point, is this a problem? So I'm indexing and wait, I'm indexing n plus 1. That is not possible. Okay, now it should be fine. Okay. So I got 1635. So that is correct. And also I think sizes are also going to be fine. I believe I can also check for the sizes. So let's see out 3 of I dot size. Let's see what are the sizes of all these elements. 1 to 4. Okay. Okay, so this is correct. Everything is fine. And we have also taken the inputs. Now we can start applying operations. So let's start with n. Let's go till 0. And then what we have to do? So we have to start from n minus 1, not from n. And so tree of I. Also I have to take care for like OR and XOR operations. So they should alternate. So let's take a flag. Let's keep it true initially. So this tree value equals to tree of I plus 1. And this is going to be, the index is going to be how much? Also, let's keep it. But I don't know what the index is. I have to traverse index by index. Okay, let's keep it j. So I'm going to start with 0. Okay. And j is going to be less than 1 right shift I. I think that is correct. Now I can. Okay. So ij is going to be I plus 1, 2 into j. And that depends like whether this is gonna be OR or XOR. So 3i plus 1, 2 into j plus 1. I think that was the case, right? So for this is going to be 2 times. So this is 4 and 1, 5. Yeah. Also, let's quickly, if flag then this, else do XOR. Okay, I think now this is correct. And yeah. I believe maybe I should check what is this value here. Sorry. So we have 0. Really, I'm gonna get 0? I think that's incorrect. Maybe I should check. I think my operations are fine. You're also doing on your stream. You are in 4th year or pass out? I'm in 4th year. So this is going to be my final year. I'm going to pass out next year. It's still like 2 semesters are left. So I have some time. Is 0 correct answer? What is OR of 1 and 6? 6 is an even number, so OR is going to be different. So OR is going to be 7, right? For 3 and 5. 3 is going to have 2. 5 is also odd. And 5 is not going to have 2. 5 is going to have 4. So this is going to be 6. Looks like something is wrong. Let's do one thing. Let's quickly iterate and see like if there is something that is wrong. 1 right shift I times plus j. Let's do cout 3 of ij with a space, and here let's see out a new line. Yeah, this is going to be 7. 5 and 3 is also 7 because this one have 4. This one gonna give me 2. 6 plus 1 7. Okay, so it's basically correct. Now we will have to process queries. Okay, this is going to be a bit trickier. Let's process all the queries. So we're gonna have 2 things, P and Q. So this is going to be index. This is how we seen, right? Now we have to go to that index. So this update is always going to happen. Okay, so this update is always going to happen in the last one, and then we have to iterate again. So how do we do this? I is greater than equals to 0 minus I. So this loop is fine. This is going to go till 17 at max, or maybe 18. Placement starts in starting of 4th year. No, placements actually starts before. So around like after 5th semester, companies will come in your college. So like visa came in January. So just make sure if you're entering into like your 3rd year, make sure you're prepared. Make sure your preparation is good, especially DSA, because every single company is asking DSA. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be simple. So I believe from 1 to 2 to the power n. So let's do minus minus. Okay, because we're using 0 based indexing. And let's do tree of I. This is going to be, so tree of n is going to be equal to, my bad. Yeah, tree of n of idx is going to be equal to value. So we have changed this. Now we have to update other values too. Okay. Okay, so we have idx. This one is going to be what? Tree of I plus 1. We again need a flag. For sure we need this. Okay. We need similar logic like this one. After doing that, we're going to not a flag. So here we need some changes. Okay. So we need to see what this J is going to be. So that is going to be IDX by 2. IDX by 2 plus 1, right? 5 goes back to 4. Only one value is updating, so they both are going to be same. What this will be? This is going to be... Wait a minute, let me think. Okay. So whatever this IDX is, let's do this. Let's make IDX... Let's make this equals to IDX by 2. So we know this is the current index and then we can do it. Okay. Maybe. So let's divide IDX by 2. We can also shift. That is also possible. Wait, really? Yeah. So let's keep IDX here, and this is going to be 2 into IDX and 2 into IDX plus 1. And after we're done with that, yep, so we have to iteratively do this. Okay. So we have to keep reducing this IDX. I believe. I hope that's fine. Let's see out. We'll see what is the answer. Okay. Passed. I think that's correct. I think that's correct. We can submit. What was the question number? It was 3390, right? Yeah. Let's see if that works. I mean, that is correct. So absolutely accepted. Let's solve something else. Good count good substrings. Should I solve some string-based problem? This problem, I would say it was like very straightforward, right? This looks like a tricky problem. It's a palindrome. It's good because after merging step, it will become ABA. Oh. Well, specific field have to do it. Not any specific field. If you have a good base in maths, you can start straight away. I mean, there are going to be problems. You have to think how to solve them. It is a 2000 rated problem. Maybe I should not waste my time. So even lengths, it is 10 to the power 5. Maybe some stack I can use. No? After merging consecutive equal characters, the resulting string. So like of length 2, 4, 8, 6, 8. But how do I see? Good substrings of even and odd lengths. How do I optimize this? So any sort of n square solution is not going to work. I believe there is going to be a big O of n solution because it is a string problem. So something very similar to like KMP or Z function. How? So this is going to be V. So there is only one substring of odd length. There are two, right? I will give more, like 5 more minutes. If I'm not able to come up with something, then I'll leave. So if like adding a string, if this is a good, okay. So we need same elements like here and here, right? So they could be repeating. If elements are like keep repeating, then we don't have an issue, right? Else we will have to fall back to the element that is like similar to the last one if we want like a palindrome. So it's some sort of a KMP based problem, I believe. Okay, I'll solve this. Solve this later on. Common divisors. Good sequences. Codeforces down. Yeah. Well, okay, I think Codeforces is down for now. So is there any other way to get these problems? 182D. There we go. Complete divisors. I mean, we don't have like statement or anything here. That's fine. So Div2-D was like specialist level question. 1500. I don't think so. There were these many wrong answers. Let's check out the recent contest. Div2. Who is this guy? So many Indians here. Are these all like ChatGPT guys? Dominator, Kalash, Kshitij. What the fuck? What's going on? Are these all people rad or something? Oh my god. I remember there were like 5 masters before ChatGPT from India. Really? These many masters? This guy is genuine. Yup. Okay, I think it's back. Finally. Common devices. This is also a string based problem. Fine. Determine a strings divisor. Here is what he came up with. Hello, Elvish. Elvish Yadav ji. String A is a divisor of string B if and only if there exists a positive integer x such that if we write out string A consecutively x times, we get string B. AB has two divisors, AB and AB. Ah. So whatever the size is, wait. So like total size and this size, mod should be 0, right? Then only you can make it this way. Common divisors of two strings. Please help me. ABCD. ABCD. So this is going to be ABCD, I believe. How do I do this? So I need to go for all the divisors. It's 1400 rating only. So this is very easy. Okay. So whatever the size is, I have to go for all divisors. So I will first check for this size, then upon 2. Wait, upon 2. I need to find all the divisors. This is 16. Like, what are the divisors? So you need to keep like the smaller one. So what are the divisors of it? 2 to the 4 to the 8. So 2 is going to be a divisor, 4 is going to be a divisor, and 8 is going to be a divisor. So yeah, it's like upon 2. So 8 by 2 is 4, then 4 by 2 is 2, then 2 by 2 is 1. 1 is also possible if every single number is the same. How do we do it? So there should be something common. So there are two, right? This whole thing and this thing, ABCD. Number of common divisors of two strings. So it should be repeating. How do I find repeating strings? Okay. So first I need to check for this whole string, like whether repeating this is fine. Then I will divide it in half. Then I will first have to verify this string and then this one. But why would I do it like again and again, right? I just have to see how many times a string is repeating. That's it. So either a size of 2, which is not possible because that is not a divisor. Then it is going to be 1. Okay. Let's start solving. Let's take S1, S2. Okay. How do I efficiently check? If we write out consecutively x times, we get string B. Okay. We need common divisor. Let's take size as whatever is minimum. Or maybe let's assume S1 is minimum. Okay. If S2 dot size is greater than S1 dot size, so if S1 is greater, then we can swap. Okay. This way S1 is always going to be smaller one. I'm still confused. How do I check? Is brute force going to work? Because how many times I'm brute forcing? I'm going like half, half, half. So okay. Let's do this. Whatever the string is going to be, it will be like these 4 elements, right? That too from like a smaller one. So maybe we can do this that way. Okay, so we are going to check. So our current string is going to be, so let's call this pat or pattern. Let's run a loop. This n times, and we are going to okay, so now we have all the required elements. Now we will check. Okay, and we will only do this if that mod property satisfy. So like for S1, that is always going to satisfy. We need to check for S2 only. Okay, so if so whatever is S2 dot size mod n, if this is not equal to 0, or maybe if this is equals to 0, then only perform these operations. In the end, we are going to divide n by 2. Now we have to check. Okay, but first we have to make sure that S1 is also able to, like, you know, so how do I do this? So if I divide like, so now I know like how many times I have to keep iterating. Right? So maybe if I do -1, I'll be much safer. I don't know what I'm doing. Is this fine? एक मंथ पहले किया था, currently lead code पे 50 question. Just keep solving more problems. That is the only good advice I can give you. Be consistent. Solve like at least a single problem every single day, and slowly like you will start learning things, and after some times you will be good. You will be able to solve harder problems. So be positive and keep thinking. Okay, thinking is very important because you're doing DSA so that your aptitude, you know, when you will sit for an interview, the company is going to look for your aptitude. Okay, so this is how many times I'm going to extend this pat, I believe, and then that should be equal to S1. And then similar thing, I'm going to perform this particular stuff, and I'm gonna like, so that should be equal to. Okay, so same stuff that I'm doing here. String, let's call this T for temporary. Sure, is that okay? And maybe like that is also fine. So we're gonna push back, I believe, pat. Oh, we can't. But we can always add, right? Time complexity. That is fine because times is like limited. That is not going to be a huge number, so I believe that is fine. Okay, so if T is not equal to S1, skip the loop. Well, not really. Okay, that is fine. Um, hmm. So if this size is 0, then maybe perform same thing here. So we have t, but this times is going to be s2 dot size. Okay, so because the mod is 0, we are going to have a so s2 is perfectly divisible. We're adding this pat these many times. Now we will check if t is not equal to s2. Let's see. I'm not sure about the correctness of the solution. Let's initialize count and let's return this count. Passed. This also passed. So what is the time complexity? Let's think. Okay, how many times this n will run? At max log n. Okay, this is also going to be log n then. Well, n can be 1, so then this is going to be n. This can be n. If this is n, then pat is going to be 1. So ultimately, this whole loop is big O of n at max. Yeah. This is it's fine. Same goes for this. This is also at max big O of whatever is s2 dot size. I think that is correct. I can submit 182D. Okay. Let's hope for the best. Maybe it's passing. Wrong answer. Okay. So answer is like, so we only have a single number. Wait, what? What is this input? So answer is 8. Expected number is 108. 108 is a very large number. So I suppose there's something I'm missing because what is wrong? I think length logic is fine, right? How is it 108? I don't think it can be 108. How is that possible? So if we have something, let's say something of odd length, 11, something of odd length cannot be made, right? So like maybe that odd number is divisible by something. Maybe I'm wrong. 11 by 2 is going to give me 5, which is definitely not divisible. But something like 15, so I may get 7, which is again not divisible. But then I will have 3. 3 is divisible, so should I find divisors? Why is 108? There are 108 divisors for this particular number. Can I afford to check these this much? Let's quickly see the tutorial. Okay, I think this one is D. So I can see a root here. So I believe they are finding divisors or something. Maybe I can do that too, right? So rather than log n, which is I believe incorrect, then the solution will be like n root n. Let's do this thing. Let's first find out the divisors for both the sizes, and then we will see if um yeah, I think that is going to be a good idea. Let's store divisors. Okay, and to find divisors, first I will go from n. So 1 is always a divisor, right? There is no doubt. So maybe I can start with 1. Okay, and let's go for s1 dot size at least. Okay, now we can use nm, much better. Okay, so this should be divisor of both. So maybe I can check for this one, then I can and inside the loop I can check for s2 as well, that whether s2 is divisible or not. So this way we can find common in both. Okay, so if n mod, where is mod? Yeah, if n mod I equals to 0, then this is divisible, but we will also have to check for maybe I can check for m here as well. If m mod I is also 0, so divisible by both, right? Then maybe I can push back, because now this number is a common divisor. What about the number like, so because we have 1, we are always going to have n, so 1 is always going to be divisible. Now if I into I is not equal to n, then I will also push back. But it depends. So I into something is n, and then I into something is m. Okay, so that something is going to be different now. Okay, What should I do now? So we could have like size something like 8 or 4, and maybe 2 is dividing both of them. Then we are going to have some different value. And we have to make sure both of those values are actually dividing. So maybe I should only check for n, divisor of n. And okay. Let's take this temporary. Let's make it I by I. So I know like this is dividing, but if m mod t is also 0, what's going on? Okay, so if m mod t also 0, then we can maybe push back. But what are the odds? Maybe we have something like 6 and 8, and maybe we have something like what is common, like 8 and 6? 36, 32. 8 6 ja 48. Okay, let's push back t. I think that is fine. Now I can go so here you will go with n, but make sure n is also dividing. So this is fine. Okay, now apart from this while loop, I can use a for loop. So for auto, I believe it was n here inside. Yeah. Also, I'm dividing n. I don't have to do that. Okay. Passed. Is that correct? Hello. Hi. Yogananda. It's passing, guys. Okay, I think wrong answer on test 74. Is there a edge case? Answer is 2, found 1. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So I believe answer is going to be 1, or maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 2 cannot be the answer, but 3 can be the answer. Why my output is 1? Let me check. This should be 2, not 1. Okay. Let's check out what is this n value. Maybe there is only one value. That is happening because so this is 6. So 6 is not divisible. Then I go to 2, and 2 2 are 4, right? So that is under the constraint. Oh, the problem is, okay, I get it. There is a way, right? So this is not satisfying for 2, right? But 2 3s are 6 for 3. That makes sense. Okay. This needs to be removed. And let's put condition here. Okay. Now we have 1, 3, and 2. Again, something is wrong. This is 9. So, acha, answer is 2. Okay. So now that is correct. Okay. Okay. 182. Let's submit. I think that is correct. Yeah. Accepted. So it was a brute force. I thought maybe there is some logic here. Maybe I have to optimize it, but no. It's 1400 rated. She also has preferences of integers. She thinks n integers are good. Sequence is good if it satisfies. Strictly increasing. For each element. What is k? Size. Okay. A co-prime. So their GCD should not be 1. All elements of the sequence are good integers. She thinks n integers are good. Longest good sequence. The n consists of 2 lines. First line contains a single integer and the number of good integers. So it should only contain like these integers. So we have to make sequence from this n that is given to us. Okay. In a strictly increasing order. Okay. So we don't have to sort. Okay. So these two things are valid here, but we have to make sure this is valid and we can take any number from here. We can decide to take this one, skip this one, take this one, maybe skip this one. It is also 1500. It is B. Div1, okay. Find the length of the longest good sequence. How do we do this? Maybe we can decide to pick some number. And then to pick another number, we will check whether the GCD is greater than 1. Then only we can pick. We can also decide not to pick that number. Yeah. Two things are already enforced. Is this like DP? The first example, the following sequences are examples of good sequences. Longest length is 4. So 2, 4, 6, 9. Because 2, 3 is GCD 1. Both are prime. Same goes for 3, 4. 3 is prime. So if I'm picking 2, I cannot pick 3. . I need to keep track of previous number, so I cannot do it that way. Single space separated list of good integers. How do I? So I have to take some values. So till this we have some size, right? Then when we are here, we can either extend it or we can either. How do I make sure that it is a good sequence? The only thing matters is divisor. There should be a common divisor between two numbers. Should I keep divisors now? Okay. So these two. So if every adjacent number has something common, that means all the sequence have something in common. Well, no. So we have like 2, 3. How do I do this? Longest sequence. Can I use a map? So if I have some number, let's say 6, I will check for like all the divisors. So for this 6, I want the maximum DP from all these 3 states, where last element is have like a common divisor. So that is something I need to think. How can I do this? 6 can be like 2 and 3. So maybe I can use priority queue, a 2D priority queue, PQ inside a vector. Vector is going to be a map. Okay, so I'm thinking to use some sort of a map with a priority queue so that I always have the bigger DP value, and map is going to map like all the divisors. So okay, so we can have an unordered map. Maybe I should go for a map instead, because the worst time complexity, so PQ I want a maximum value, so that is fine. Key is going to be an integer, which is a divisor. Let's call this something. And okay. So for a first number, so first you find all the divisors for this one, and then you do it. Okay. Let's start with 1 maybe. No, 1 is not allowed, so let's start with 2. So j into j less than equals to I plus j, and if I mod j equals to 0, so that is a divisor. Then we can push back this j, and if this is not a perfect square, j into j is not equal to I, then also push back I by j, okay, because that is also a divisor. So we have a divisor now. Time complexity is n root n. Now we have to check the maximum value for all the divisor. 400 plus question on lead code, but you want to start Codeforces. Do one thing. You have solved 400 question. What is your rating on lead code? Because it depends like on your rating. So tell me your rating, then I will give you some suggestion. So I want like maximum value for this. Okay. 1550. So I can recommend like solving maybe some 1200 rated problems. So you can go to Codeforces, you can go to problem set, and here you can do this like 1000 to 1200, apply. Yeah, you will find a lot of problems. You can start solving them. Yep. Start with like easier problem first so that you don't get overwhelmed, because solving harder problems, if you don't understand them, has no meaning. Okay, so now I'm going to go for all these divisors. And first of all, I have to see whether there is a PQ exists or not. Yeah. So if, let's call this MP for map. Okay, so if MP, also once I will do this, I will also have to add every single one of these things. Is there any sheet you follow? There is a CP31 sheet. You can use it. I have used it initially, not anymore, but when I was starting Codeforces, I was looking for like some material, so I followed the sheet. It's pretty good. I have started with 1400, then I solved 1500, 1600, then I stopped. Now I like use this A2 OG ladder. You can also use A2 OJ ladder, by the way. You can start solving Div2-B, Div2-A and Div2-B. I'm solving D, right? You don't have to solve D. So yeah, I think that is a good idea. Yep. I hope that's clear. Okay. So how do I check whether it exists or not? If mp dot, I can use mp dot count. Yeah. So if mp dot find, then continue. But I don't understand one thing. Why am I using a priority queue? I don't have to use a priority queue. I can use a simple integer here, right? Because I only have to keep the maximum value. I don't care about anything else. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is correct. Okay. So optimal is going to be what? Maximum of optimal. Comma. Do I also have to care for like the total size? Maybe n is like the total size, and because one is not here, so I believe if there is a number which has a divisor I and I is not equal to 1, ones are also allowed. Okay, ones are allowed, then I have to be careful. In simple word, number 1 should not be chosen. Okay, it should not be chosen by any means. And I have made a mistake here. Maybe I should correct my mistake. Because I have used I everywhere rather than this value that I was going to. Is that a good idea though? I think that is correct. Also push the value inside divisor. So if we find this value as a common, yeah, optimal or MP of D, so whatever is better. And I will also have to update this. Okay, so these are divisor for this particular number, but I can only update this once I'll store the optimal answer. So okay, so let's call this TP of I n comma 0, but it is not even like, I don't even need this TP. I'm storing answers in this map, so I just have to keep track of maximum answer. Okay, but I have to update. That is something I have to do. Optimal plus one. How to do that? Go to all the devices, including its value. By the way, if this is 1, then we can continue from here, right? Yeah. Okay. So we wanna do what? MP of this D equals to max of whatever is the value here, and whatever is like optimal plus 1, I believe. Right. Is that like a correct approach? Let's see what is the answer. What am I doing? That is correct. Okay, so time complexity is how much? Yeah, now this is correct. Okay, now this is correct. I think that is correct. That is correct. 264B. 264B. Let's check. This was one shot. Thank you. So optimal is 0 initially. I could make this like 1. Maybe not, because then you have to. Oh, finally it's running. Wrong answer. Okay. But if there was any other number, the answer would be 1, right? Yeah. You know what? What I think is that right, maybe that is fine. Yeah. I would at least consider, although it's not gonna update anything here, and neither it's gonna check, so it's okay. $264B. Come on. If this passes, I'm gonna end. Yeah. $65. Almost. Yeah, accepted. I think it's been like a long time, right? Almost after a week, I'm doing Codeforces. I believe I need to be a bit more consistent, because that is always gonna help me. I have to push this bar. Okay, 17, 18. Maybe I should also start giving contest. I need to reach expert at least. I will push this bar. Yeah. How much time it took? 1.5 hours. I think I can invest that much of time every single day. There are 100 problems. So in like a month, I can solve all, I believe. And the problems are good. This problem I was not able to solve yesterday. I tried some like cadence, modified cadence, but I missed this point that they can be different. Maybe I'll solve them like later on. I will solve this before I go to bed. So yeah, maybe I have to think of like other cases where we have some part in between that is modified and rest of the part is like same. So every single element start like can start like from modification, can extend the modification, or maybe can end the modification. Hey guys, 6 people are watching. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, you can ask. Because I'm going to end the stream in next 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. J exam is important. Yep, very important. Make sure you give your best, because a good college will give you a lot of opportunities. If you are in bad college, doesn't matter how much skill you have. Let me be very straightforward. Doesn't matter how much skill you have. Companies are not going to come in your campus, right? You will have to apply off campus, and there are like around 50,000 people applying for the same job that you're applying to. So even if your profile is good, there are very less chances that uh, you will get to like the first round. If you're in college, then it's confirmed. You will get a link for the OA, right? And if you're good in DSA, then you can definitely crack the OA. And OAs are all about DSA and your aptitude. So there are going to be some logical problems, some mathematical problems, some series, permutation, combination, probability, etc. So give your best in JEE. My college is MAIT. Also, if you're good in maths or physics, let's say maths or physics, it's like very natural that you will be good at DSA because you can think logically. Yeah. I'm getting some idea for this one. Maybe I can keep like 3 variables. In Cadence, we only keep one. So one variable is default. Second variable is going to be extending. Either I will start a new sequence, new modified sequence, or either I am going to extend the previous modified sequence. third variable is going to be either I'm extending. Why is it so confusing? If your JEE not clear, how much time you have for JEE? This is the question you should ask. If you have, let's say, 6 months, then you should be able to like, I mean, you should at least try, because it matters a lot. If you will give your best in like these 6 months, you are going to learn a lot of things, and you will also perform good in exam. Focus on like physics and chemistry. There is no like connection between JEE and job, but like if you're in a good college, then you will be placed in a good company, that's for sure. Like अगर मैं IIT में होता ना तो easily अभी तक किसी like top MNC में place हो गया होता already. I'm pretty sure about that. 7 months for Jan attempt, 8 to 9 for April. So you have a lot of time, right? Give your best. You need to focus like in maths, I would say focus on permutation, combination, probability, all these things, maybe stats, right? I mean, everything I would say, like calculus also important. Matrices, determinants. I mean, everything is important. But math is like a bit, math needs some time, I believe. So you have to give like probably like if you're giving like physics 2 hours, you have to give like 3 hours for maths. Yeah, I think that is it. Library. That is not like a question you should ask me. You should ask yourself that can you do this? See, it depends on how good like, so JEE is, so the exam is all about like physics, chemistry, math. So ask yourself how good you are in these subjects, right? If you're like good in school already, then it is going to be easier for you. If you are like just an average student in school, then it is going to be a bit harder. I believe if you can get like 98, 97, 98 percentile, that is good in mains. Yeah. Just ask yourself, right? Just ask yourself, can you clear? Just I would say like pick a subject, like pick a chapter in maths or maybe in physics. So you can do let's say motion something. You can do like normal kinetics in physics. Give yourself a week, do kinetics, right? Solve a lot of problems, solve at least 200 problems in kinetics. Then go ahead and solve PYQs of JEE and see whether you are able to solve them or not. If you are able to solve them, then you can. If you cannot solve them, then there is a problem, right? Because you're working hard as well and you're not able to solve those problems. In that case, you need some time. And 6 months, 7 months are not enough. And make sure you focus on first attempt, because second attempt is much harder than first. Yeah. Clear strategy. You have to give time. Maybe like if you're doing something like friction, motion, or whatever, you can follow books like H.C. Burma for physics. For maths, you need like a book to solve problems. That's it. The strategy is very clear. if you can read a book and understand, that is the best. That is the best case. Or what you can do, you can go to YouTube, search for like a one-shot type of a video, right? Start studying. Let's say, so you should invest, let's say 2 days, right? Watch like a good video, 6-7 hours video for the particular chapter, complete it, and then you should start solving problem by yourself. And after solving like 200 problems, then you can go to like PYQs of JEE. See if you're able to solve those PYQs, then it is going to be much easier. And let me tell you something, if you get good even in like 2-3 chapters, let's say you're good at kinetics, you're good at force, friction, etc. problems, you will automatically be good at like things like SHM, you know, electrostats, whatever, because once your logic is built, then everything becomes easy. So if you're a beginner, maybe like give 2-3 weeks or maybe a month, focus on like 2-3 chapters in these like 1 or 2 months. If you're able to clear those chapters, then I would say continue for your JEE. Else you need to think. So you have to analyze yourself. I think that is the best advice I can give you. Right? Because some people, when they see a problem, they usually get afraid. Or some people don't even give mock test. They're like, no, syllabus nahi hua, nahi dunga mock test or whatever. So if you have that sort of thing inside of you, then exactly, so your confidence is so low. So this is what I'm saying. Focus on 2-3 chapters, give yourself a month or so, and try your best in those 2-3 chapters, right? So in maths, you can pick like series, you can do permutation combination. And physics, you can do force, motion, vagera, friction, etc. See if you're learning something, if you're getting better, then you can definitely crack. And that is also a best way to build your confidence. Also to check yourself. If after giving time you are not able to solve JEE problems, then that's useless, right? Okay, I'm going to end my stream, guys. See you maybe tomorrow. I will try to stream tomorrow as well. Yeah. Bye, guys. Have a nice one.